Hello there, this is Anthony Johnson, and what we're going to do in this video is we're going to go through how to use the import-export wizard that's provided in the GUI, and we're also going to generate scripts through the GUI as well. So the task that we're going to have here is, that we're going to tackle here is, we have this Excel sheet, has 1,000 records on paper, but essentially it's 999 records because the first record, the first row is the header columns. So we can actually close this Excel sheet out and we have a fresh blank sheet here. So first step into using the import export wizard, we're going to right click on our database, go to tasks, scroll down to import data. It typically takes a second. Okay, so choose our data source. Our data source is going to be Microsoft Excel because that's where we're extracting the data from. Excel file path, we hit browse and we find our Excel sheet, which is mock clients data. Because this data is mock data, it's not any sensitive data. I retrieved this from calgo.com and it's all fabricated, nothing, no sensitive information at all, just for full transparency. So now that we have our sheet and our path to our sheet, this Excel version also auto generates. So based off the version of your sheet, then that's the version that's going to pop up here. It auto populates. So we press next. Now we want to look for our destination, which in our case is going to be Microsoft SQL Server, or I should say Microsoft OLADB provider for SQL Server. There we go. And we want it inside of, whether it auto populates regardless. You can change it as well, I believe. Yep, to your various databases. But since we already right clicked on the database that we wanted, it auto populates. So you press next. We're going to stick with the default, which is copy data from one or more tables or views. Press next. This is the actual tab inside of that workbook of mock clients data. It's called sheet 1 because that's typically what it is by default. So we're going to go inside of here. We're going to actually name this customers CC info. Alrighty. So we press next, keep the default, run immediately as far as save and run package. I'm going to press next. This is just telling us, click to finish. So we're going to finish. $999 rows transferred. So we can go ahead and close that out. We're going to refresh our Object Explorer one time. Scroll down to tables, and as you can see, our table is there. And if we look at the columns, they are in varchar by default. Even within SSIS, when you do a fast load or anything like that, the default will be varchar or in varchar. More so in varchar more than anything, which is pretty much takes up more space than varchar. It's twice the amount of space in a column. Just a little SQL knowledge. So here we go. To generate scripts, we are going to right click on the database again. We're going to go to tasks and scroll down till you see generate scripts. Press next. We want to select specific database objects. Press the plus sign to expand. And here is our table that we just used, imported with the wizard. Click on that and then press next. So up here you see advanced tab. So you click that and then you scroll down until you see the types of data to script. we want to script the schema and the data. So we press OK. And then we also want to open this up in a new window. Alrighty, so now everything is pretty much in place. So we press next. And as you can see, a new window popped up. So we press finish. And you see our data here. So let's go ahead and turn this into a table variable. We are going to remove this. We're going to remove this as well. Replace that with a declare. At customers. We'll just call it customers for simplicity's sakes. We will remove this old table name. Alrighty. So now we can either comment out the goals or we can remove them completely. Well, I think we're just going to remove them completely. We can do Control H, put go up there, and replace it with nothing. And that's going to get rid of all the goals. And now we also want to replace this table name with our table variable name. Alrighty, everything looking good so far. Okie doke. So let's just scroll down to the bottom of the page just to make sure everything is moving appropriately. Yep. So far, so good. Alrighty. So now that we have that set up, we're actually going to close this. So this is a script that I'm going to post to the video. It's a fail-proof template, which will allow you to debug more efficiently and things like that. So what we're going to actually do is we're going to Control A to highlight everything off the page. And then we're going to copy it. And then we're going to actually place it right here within this code where it says insert code here. All right, we're going to scroll back up. So since we're expecting 999 rows, we are going to change our expected count to 999. All right, so now let's scroll back down to the bottom. Scroll on over a little bit so we be underneath here. All right, so now we're going to do a select all from at customers into a temp table. We'll say customers. Oh, place the keyword in the wrong place. My apologies. The whole thing actually. So this is how you flip results into a temp table. Alrighty, so we're expecting 999. So we actually want to place this. If it fails, then I'll show you. But it actually shouldn't fail. So let's go ahead and execute this. And we actually don't need this here. So let's execute. Okay, let's scroll to the bottom. So the transaction was successful. 999 records were updated. So now let's scroll down here where we was just at, where we flip the results into our temp table. Now let's select from our temp table. And as you can see, all our records are there, all 999 of them. So that's pretty much what I wanted to bring to you today. As I mentioned before, I'm going to place this template within the video so you can take it for your own resources, your own personal files. So just to recap for what we did today, we went over how to use the import export wizard, which is built into SQL Server. You just right click on your database, scroll down to tasks, and then you import data. You can import a flat file, or you can also export data. So you can take the results from a SQL Server table or a result set and place them inside of, a flat file or an Excel sheet, etc. But in this case, we took the results from an Excel worksheet and placed them inside of a table. We generated it. When you use the import export wizard, more than likely your data type will be all in varchar, which is twice the size of varchar when it comes to space. And we also generated scripts. So you go to task, middle of the page, generate scripts, and then you walk through the whole process. So I hope this was helpful. I hope you're able to use this in your everyday work life, or hopefully you just learned something new that you can bring to the team if they wasn't aware of it, or something to make your work a little bit more efficient. I hope this was helpful. This is Anthony Johnson. Have a blessed day, and bye-bye.